This is part two of a three-part series that Maureen and I did back in 2020 about the joys of cruising. And this program is specifically dedicated to those of you who are cruise virgins. And yes, there is a difference in the different types of cruise lines. And we can tell you that not every cruise line fits every type of personality. So listen to our podcast and see what you can glean from it. Enjoy.
Cruising!
And this is show number 2 of a three-part series. And we're talking about the 3 cruise lines that we've been on and what our impressions of these cruise lines are. And in fairness, when it comes to Norwegian, we have only been on one cruise with them. We have been on several cruises with Carnival and with Celebrity.
Absolutely.
And I think the first thing that we want to talk about is when you're taking that first cruise, especially.
You're a cruise virgin.
You're cruise virgin. Our first one was on Carnival, and our first ship was the Carnival Victory. And I got to tell you, even when you're walking down the pier and you first lay eyes on that ship, on your first cruise, it's like, whoa!
The size of these ships are unbelievable.
It's a city on the water. But when you walk into the ship, the first thing I think you want is that wow, that eye pop factor.
And Carnival's got it.
Carnival has got it.
Hands down.
When you get into a Carnival ship, and in our case, we've been on the Victory, the Glory, and the Miracle. All of these ships, when you first get on, you are brought into a huge atrium.
And they have these glass elevators, lights from floor to ceiling, and you're looking up to the very tip top of the ship.
You're looking at maybe 13, 14 levels.
Absolutely.
All the way up with these glass elevators, incredible lighting effects.
Beautiful music playing, people plying you with drinks. I mean, it is a party from the time you put your foot in that door.
And when you get on a Carnival ship, it is wow. Of course, they are the fun ships.
Yes.
When you get on the Celebrity Summit, which we are very familiar with, it's kind of like almost like a home away from home. We've been on it so many times. The first time that we went on the summit, the entrance was disappointing. Remember that?
It was. I don't know what they were thinking, but they had you enter on one of the very lower decks, and you basically were kind of going into like a cargo area or something. It was like just a hallway, nothing special. When you got up to the actual
atrium
part, it was nice.
It was nice, but there's no pop.
But the very first impression you had of the ship was going into like this cargo area. It was really ugly.
Yeah, I was like, is this the best you got?
Yeah.
This is where you bring people onto the ship. Maybe there was a problem. Maybe they had to do that. Maybe that wasn't standard procedure for them. I don't know.
Well, in later cruises, they did alter, and they made it so that you entered on a higher deck and you were going into a more
You come into the
beautiful
atrium
area.
now. The atrium is nice. It's big. It's spacious. But does it have that wow factor to it
I
that
don't
you get
think
on
so.
Carnival? It does not.
The Celebrity caters to a different crowd too, so
Yeah.
it's appropriate for what they do.
Now, when you get on Norwegian, their ships, I think, are similar to the Carnival ships with the big atrium. So again, you get more of a wow factor. Now, one of the things that you might be asking about is, what do I do when I get on board? What are the activities? And I think that for activities, we give Carnival an A.
There's always something to do when you're on the Carnival. The activities overlap, and there are a huge gamut of variety, which is something I personally like. When you're looking at something and you say, well, this is not for me.
Yeah.
Well, there's other choices
something
that are.
else for you, like the hairy back contest.
Pete's just jealous because he doesn't have one.
I don't have a hairy back.
And I'm glad.
Thank goodness. I could do without that. But they have hairy back contest. If you go on Celebrity, their cruise director will tell you, we don't do a hairy back contest. Not on Celebrity. Celebrity is a little more sedate. I don't want to say it's farty, but it's a little more sedate. And I'm a little bit of a
Snob.
No, I'm not. No. trying to avoid going there, Maureen, but I'm not one of these people that has got to be doing something all the time. I'm very happy to sit out on a deck chair somewhere and read and take in the sun or something. I don't need to be going all the time. And for me, celebrity is a good level, but I do wish that they had a few more things going on. But the hairy back contest, if you like that kind of stuff, if you like a lot of dancing, a real party atmosphere, if you're a young adult, if you've got kids, Carnival is probably a good line, and it's a good entry cruise line. If you're a little more sedate like we are, I think...
Speak for yourself.
So if you're a little more sedate like I am, Celebrity, I think, is maybe a better fit. But I do wish that Celebrity had more events going on, because sometimes it's hours between stuff.
That's my objection. When we were on Carnival, they have something going on all the time, and it's a variety. Like I enjoyed seeing the ice sculpture demonstration and the artwork and how to fold the towels into animals, and they do all kinds of things. And on Celebrity, it tends to be always the same. They'll have a bingo, a trivia, a game show.
We have not done well in trivia on the last couple of cruises. We used to be the killer trivia players.
Well, that's because we're dealing with old people.
Because we have all of those ships on. So we have these gold-painted plastic ships on sticks from Carnival. They're like little trophies. And when you win different activities on ship, you get a little trophy. And Maureen and I very proudly have about 5 or 6 of these ships on sticks.
That's what they kid about this.
They call it the ship
gold
on a
plastic
stick. Ship on a stick. And we have about 6 of them on display in our living room from our trivia victories.
Yes.
But the last few ones, we kind of got shut out.
Well, I think it's because on Carnival, our level of experience is different.
Yeah, you have a younger crowd.
And you have a younger crowd who they don't know.
Crap from Shinola, okay?
Okay, I'm trying to figure out a better way to say it, but they don't have the life experiences that we did, and we kicked ass on those.
Yeah.
But on Celebrity, there's more people in our age bracket, and our knowledge base is the same.
More of a challenge.
And it's more, we didn't do as well.
Okay, now what about the room accommodations? There's probably a lot of people saying, well, how big are the bathrooms? How big are the rooms?
Carnival has the biggest.
Biggest rooms?
Biggest bathrooms.
Biggest bathrooms.
And they were very nice. Celebrity is fine. I don't have a problem with their accommodations. They're slightly smaller.
Yeah, the cabin's a little smaller. Bathroom is a little smaller, but it's okay.
It's doable. Now, Norwegian is very small.
Yeah.
It's noticeably smaller. From everything from the room size to the door jambs to the bathroom, the shower. You try to get into the shower, you're going sideways in the door. You can touch all 4 walls. You sit on the toilet and your knees touch the wall in front of you.
Yeah, and I'll give you an example. I'm about 5'9", 5'10", something like that. I weigh 200 pounds. And to sit on the bathroom, my knees were hitting the wall.
I'm not going to tell you my dimensions.
But you were uncomfortable.
But I was definitely uncomfortable. And Norwegian all over the place. We ran into that. The theater, everything was meant for tiny heinies.
We missed we missed all the shows in the theater because the first time that we went in, it was so uncomfortable for you that we just said, you know what, we can't do this. And we missed all the shows.
Mm-hmm. So we didn't get what we paid for.
No, I don't think we did. The next thing is let's talk about the food. Because when you're on a cruise, if you're not going to a show, if you're not going to an activity, you're eating.
And there's certainly a lot to choose from. Now, most of the ships have various levels. A lot of it is free. I'm not free. It's included in your ticket. And those would be your buffets. Those would be your main dining restaurants.
There's always a buffet going somewhere. And I should warn you, sometimes there are lines at the buffet. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you have people that are walking around the ship and they're going, Martha, listen, I'm going to go to the casino and then I'm going to, and they're looking over their shoulder at Martha and they crash into you. But just know that that's how it is. It's a little crowded, it's a little busy, and
Yes.
somebody, could very well run into you with a tree of something, or it happens.
It's not the most pleasant experience, some of the buffets, but they certainly have the variety, and you can pick and choose and go back as many times as you want.
So go early. If you don't like the crowds, go early to the buffet.
So and the big restaurants that are included in you usually go there for your night meal.
Right.
Those are very, very nice.
Now, how do we rate the dinners? I think we both agree that the best food dinner time was Carnival.
I 100%.
Great offerings, good food, well prepared, great wait staff. Our first waiter was Charlie. Our first cruise was on the Carnival Victory. It was a 4-day cruise to Canada. And Charlie was our waiter. He was actually a Middle Eastern gentleman with a very long name.
I don't even
And he
remember
used
what
to
the name
say,
was.
"Just call me Charlie." And he was so good that he knew your name.
Yeah.
When you came in the next night, the night after, he knew your name. He knew what you ordered. He knew if you liked the filet mignon, if you liked the hot chocolate lava cake, and he would say, "Well, we have the hot chocolate lava cake again tonight. Would you like that?" He was that good.
He was.
He was a Carnival guy. I hope he's a maitre d' by now. So we did like the food best on Carnival. Celebrity, good.
It's good. There's nothing really wrong with it.
Not as much variety, I don't think.
Yeah.
And not as good as Carnival. Norwegian, we were disappointed in the dinners.
Yes. Some of it seemed like they were going on the cheap. When you're on Celebrity and when you're on Carnival, you can get the shrimp cocktails, you can get the fine steaks and things, and they didn't offer us
They didn't
quite
have
as
your
much.
shrimp cocktails on the Norwegian.
They did not. They did not.
That was the Norwegian gem, by the way. And of course, in the evening, it's showtime.
And that's a lot of fun.
And I'm talking Las Vegas grade quality shows. Singing, dancing, comedians, magicians, aerial acts, all very well done. I think the best shows, again, were on Carnival.
I do.
They had the best sets, the best set design when we were on Celebrity, and we love Celebrity, but the shows are a little more, I think they cut, the talent's good. Don't get me wrong. The acts, the talent, very, very good. The sets are not as good.
No,
They
and
reuse a lot of the sets.
the shows kind of have the same feel, like when they do their song and dance shows, like with the production staff. Even though there's a different theme and there's different music, it kind of has the same feel. Like you feel like if you've seen one show, you've seen them all.
And of course, we can't tell you about NCL because we didn't get to see any of the shows. Finally, the layout of the ship.
That can be a little bit challenging to get used to. Again, the ships that have those big center atriums tend to have only a few decks that go from
Stem to stern.
bow to stern. Is
Yeah,
that the
bow
right-
to stern.
Bow to stern.
The decks don't go all the way through
Through.
on some of the larger ships with the big atriums. To get all the way down the deck, you go to the atrium and then you have to take the elevator up or down and then resume your trip on the other side.
Right, because of that center thing, not every deck goes all the way through.
And I think that was the case on the Victory. I'm not sure if we had that on the Carnival Miracle or not.
And the Miracle was straight across.
And the Celebrity Summit is straight across.
But all the other ones had that up and down thing, and it can be a little aggravating because you forget and you get down and you think you're going from one end of the ship to the other, and it's like, oh, I can't get there on this one.
So that is the navigation on the ship. Just remember, if you are mobility challenged, a little bit better if you have a ship where the deck goes all the way through from front to back so you don't have to make a detour. And of course, if you rent a scooter ahead of time, that makes life a whole lot easier. So that's our show for this week, and next week we will be back with part 3, and we'll be talking about...
The different excursions and ports of call.
And we've done a few of those, and there were some that we thought were great fun, and then there were others that we thought were...
A waste of time.
You kind of threw the money away on that one. So join us again next week. I'm Pete,
And I'm Maureen.
and we'll see you next time. For now, goodbye, God bless you, and thank you.
Thank you for listening.
Hey, if you enjoyed this edition of our Sonic Boomers podcast, well, there's another part 3 about cruising coming up right after this one. So make sure that you're listening and looking for it. And we'd appreciate it if you enjoyed this show, that you'd give us a thumbs up and subscribe. A subscription will cost you absolutely nothing, and it really helps us reach more viewers and listeners. And now, stand by. He's coming. It's the Koala logo.